Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to vlog number 59. Let's talk about what I was thinking about last night. So if we look here at these struts, what you'll notice is that these are each unique struts. So this angle is not perfect to this body. So what I wanted was it's like a perfect following of my body angle there. So I adjusted these struts, or else this one would like stick out and this one would stick out. You see how this one is shorter than this one? So essentially these are 4 custom different struts, which makes things more complicated. What I think I'm going to do is come into this sketch on this one and bring this down just a little bit to where it's exactly perpendicular to that angle, like that. So it'll be coming over here somewhere. And then have 2 identical struts, and that'll decrease complication both in the strut, and it'll decrease complication in these parts that connect together, because these right now are custom as well. So I need to change those. That'll make that like one simple part as well, because of the angle will be the same between both of them. There won't be any weirdness going on there. What I still need to figure out is this locking mechanism. Here you can see this is the part that was invalidated right here. These 2 parts are essentially the same part sitting right on top of each other. They're not doing anything. So I want to rethink this just a little bit before I begin on that though. Alright, I'm going to change shirts since I've been wearing the same shirt for like 4 days. I found these new shirts. The reason I've been wearing this shirt for like 4 days is I just bought it and I really like it. And I'm going to switch to this brand of shirt, which is a Tokyo brand. I can't remember the name of it. But I really liked it. I found them just the other day. I killed that deer. I also killed that deer. Anyway, I'm going to change shirts from this one, from Hanes to this one, because the Hanes ones just don't fit as well, and they're not quite as heavy, and they're not as well made. I've bought them new, and they've had holes in them before. Anyway, I've got I readjusted the angle, and I haven't put the struts in yet, because I'm really thinking about how I'm going to bolt it in. I really want to have that figured out better before I do that, so I'm going to let that marinate. I'm going to change clothes, I'm going to smoke some weed, and I'm going to think about that shit. Alright, so I've made 3 new files to help me towards building the torso. Let me show you those things. So as you see here, we're in draft 2 in components, and then in bolt-ins right there. So these are the bolt-in parts. So here is like the base bolt-in part. This is literally just one that's just that part, and then this is the part with the 3D printed part and the nut on it, and then these 2 have gone into this one, which is over here, and then these are actually how I'm putting together the torso. So this makes it a lot easier for me to get that struts figured out. So essentially this part right here and here, and then the same thing on the other side down here and here and here and here, those go into the struts that I'm building on the torso, and then the bolts come through here, and so this is all packaged and ready to go, and I can use this, and now all I have to do is build the struts, and I don't have to think about putting this into the torso at all. And in addition to that, as long as I make the dimensions all the same, I can also use this in other places. Like I know for sure I'm probably going to use it where I'm going to have 2 struts going across the pelvis, because that's the plan, to have 2 struts on the pelvis as well, so I can use this exact thing. And then these bolts over here I can use for other parts that need bolt-ons as well. That's why I built them in their own place, because there's some parts where there's just 2 struts and not 4 struts, which is less complicated, and I'll end up using those on there. So I'm actually going to end up bringing both of these into the torso as well. One thing I was considering doing is starting over and doing torso attempt 4, because if we look in here, the only part that would be difficult to do would be this joint down in here. This joint is pretty complicated, and I don't really want to do it again. But other than that, the rest of it's not that bad to do again, and it would just make it a lot cleaner. So I don't know. I'll probably attempt to finish this one and see if it gets sticky. If it gets sticky, I may switch. And then the idea would be, I think if I built it again, I would build these joints in their own component file as well. I'm not 100% sure about that. I don't know. I got to think about it. What's up, everybody? I got to talk kind of quiet because my parents are asleep, because it's late. I've worked, let's see how long I worked. I've been working about 12 hours a day. So another 12-hour day. Certainly moving on this. Working 80, 90 hours a week. That's about how much Elon Musk works, and he turned out pretty successful, so we're probably getting there. Speaking of getting there, I've started over. I don't even think I showed you guys, actually, but I'm on attempt 4. So I did indeed start attempt 4. So it's good because attempt 3 was getting tired, even though it was like kind of still working there, and I might have been able to make it work. I was having some issues with a couple things, and I decided just to rework everything, and so I was able to just pull some measurements right out of attempt 3 for attempt 4, which was good. So anyway, I'm actually really close on that. I'm getting the struts actually figured out. Taking them and making them in their own file actually worked really well. I did that a couple of those parts that way. I'm gonna do some more parts that way in the future. We're getting actually really close on that one. I think. I swear I've said this 100 times. I think it's actually gonna work this time. I think attempt 4 is gonna work. There's still a few things I don't really like the way the neck is bolting together, but I think it'll be good enough for this draft. I might end up not doing draft 3. We'll have to see once I get there. It's kind of too early to tell, but it may end up making more sense with how long it's taking me to build it, just to go ahead and work and make draft 2 really good and just go ahead and build draft 2 so I can actually get the thing built. So I'm not sure. I think I've also said this 100 times, but I think tomorrow I'm gonna get the torso done. I actually think that this time. Of course, I think I might have actually thought that last time, but the title of this one is Almost There. Title of this video. That's because I think we are actually almost there. So, you guys are awesome. There's my skeleton. Have a good night. Follow me if you're seeing my shit for the first time. I know you want to. Alright, come back tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm going to finish the torso. Like 80% sure of that statement. I love you guys. Have a good night.